Hello, my name is Paul Casey. I'm the Chief Medical Officer here at Rush, and I just wanted to take a minute to address a few common questions that have come up about this coronavirus or COVID-19 outbreak. So start just with a general overview of coronavirus. So coronavirus is really the cause of many common colds. What's a little different about this novel coronavirus is it's a common cold to which a lot of us have not been exposed across the world, and that's why you're hearing about a lot of people getting sick with symptoms of coronavirus. So when our immune system hasn't been exposed to this before, it can cause symptoms. It causes us to get, in this case, the most common symptoms are upper respiratory symptoms. So same as a cold, fever, cough, congestion you might experience as well. And about 1 in 5 patients also develop some diarrhea with the coronavirus. Now, the great news is that the coronavirus is actually quite mild for the vast majority of people that get it. About over 95% of people that get the coronavirus will just have a cold and nothing more than really a cold. There are certain groups that we worry about that are a little more at risk for developing more severe symptoms, and that's specifically those that are over 60 years old, those that have some other diseases, so those that are over 60 with diabetes, with high blood pressure, with heart disease. That tends to be the group that is more likely to get sick from the coronavirus. But again, for the vast majority of people that we see with coronavirus, going to feel like a cold. Even those that are seen here in the hospital would be discharged home for what we call home quarantine, or to stay in their room, stay in their house so that they're not spreading this elsewhere. So it brings up another good question as to how do we prevent the spread of the coronavirus? And really, the great news here is that just like any virus, we have to go back to the basics. So the message we've been trying to carry forward, as did President Obama, is keep calm and wash your hands, right? Because these viruses, the only way to contain these viruses is really a lot of hand hygiene. So anytime you're touching surfaces, it can be spread by contact, it can be spread by people coughing as well. So really important to do frequent hand washing to prevent passing this on. The one other piece that I wanted to touch on was our coronavirus here at Rush. So we have had, today is, I gotta get my dates together, I've been here an awful lot. So March 7th, on Saturday, March 7th, we've had a single 1 case of coronavirus to date. There's been a number of patients that have come in that we screen as they come into the hospital, and we've said, boy, this is a good enough story that we think we need to evaluate you to see is this the flu, which is far more likely the case. About 29 million people in America this year have had the flu, so far more likely to be flu, or could this be the coronavirus? So we've had about 10 or so patients come through that we did that evaluation. In that evaluation, only 1 patient to date has actually had the coronavirus. That patient was seen in the emergency department. As I said, like most patients, he looked incredibly well just with cold symptoms. We tested him. He was actually sent home for that self-quarantine. Came back later that night saying he was starting to not feel as well, so out of an abundance of caution, we put him up in our medical isolation room upstairs on the 10th floor and watched him up there for about a day or so. Throughout the entire time, I can tell you he was completely stable. He was sitting up texting with family, texting on social media, again, just with these cold symptoms. So we really played it just on the safe side, as this was one of the first patients to come in. I think all indicators are that we're going to see more cases likely in the Chicago area. The best things, again, we can do is really the hand washing, that self-isolation, trying to, if you're having any symptoms, this isn't a time to come to work if you're having a fever at home. And the final thing I'd like to say is that we have set up a number of resources. Most importantly, we have our rush.edu coronavirus page, and that we are keeping up to date with both the latest resources as well as questions. Any questions that have come up, we're trying to keep that page updated. So hopefully that caught you up with some of the information around the coronavirus, and we'll try to keep the communication going as much as we can.